I first met JYD when he was wrestling down in for Nick Goudas in Tennessee. And me and Dog always been the best friend. One of the funniest things that ever happened to me and Dog was this wrestler named Uncle Elmer. And he used to take these pills, which now we know is opium. And he gave me one, and he gave JYD one. So me, JYD, and Mike, they used to call him the IRS Rotunda, Mike Rotunda. So Mike Rotunda is sitting in the back, JYD sitting in the front seat, and we're in upstate New York. We're up around Syracuse and that area. So we're driving back to Utica, because we all stayed in Utica, we're upstate New York. So I told Dog, I said, wow, there's a lot of 18-wheelers out here. Dog said, what are you talking about? I said, look at all them trucks. Dog said, what trucks? I said, Brad, there's a lot of trucks out here. Dog said, pull the fuck over. So I pull over. Dog said, how many trucks did you see? I said, oh, about 5 of them. He said, Tony, it was only one. Mike Rotunda said, well, it's a good thing you didn't try to pass him. So Rotunda, we never did drugs. He drove us back to the hotel. When we got to the hotel, it kicked in on Dog. Dog couldn't walk. So he'd go to the hotel on hands and knees. And they had he tell the lady, he said, Sylvester Rilla, the lady go, who is that? She said, are you a ventriloquist? She asked me, you a ventriloquist? I go, no. Well, what about you? You a ventriloquist? He said, no. I said, well, who is Sylvester Rilla? Mike Rotunda go. And she looked over the counter, give me that Sylvester Rilla, give me the key. He couldn't walk. Then the next morning, he was out in the parking lot wrestling an Invisible Man for his ticket. Like that. There was nobody there. And then after we sobered up, we said, no matter what, don't take nothing from Uncle Elmer.
For JYD, I heard a story or actually in your book about the girls would actually pay him to have sex with.
That's right. One of the JYD Junkyard Dog, I used to wine and dine all the girls. I buy them the tennis shoes to walk on me. I take them to dinner. I buy everything for them. Take them shopping, whatever they want. Dog said, Tony, you the star. They should be paying you. So one day we needed some money because we wanted to get, I hate to say it, but we wanted to get some cocaine that night. We wanted to get some drugs. So Dog said, well, I'm about out of money. How much money you got, Tony? I said, well, I got about $150. He said, oh, that ain't enough. He said, we get us some money. So he get on the phone, we called this girl over. She came, she threw $200 on the table. She got on top of Dog, did her thing, got dressed, took a shower, and left. Dog said, here you go, kid. He said, now we can get ourselves something. He said, they should be paying you. The girl would pay Dog to be with him. I've never seen that. Any wrestler do that. He prostituted himself to the girl. He wouldn't go to bed with her for free. He said, you the star. They should be paying you. That was his belief. He would never go with a girl to bed free. She had to pay to be with him.
Wow.
Yeah, he sure did.
Who brought you into the Mid-South territory?
Junkyard Dog. Yeah. JYD and Big Cat Ernie Ladd.
Of course, you had the big feud with Junkyard Dog in that territory. Could you just go through the feud a little bit for the fans that may not have?
It's just historical. It always told me 2 black guys is fighting between them, feuding amongst themselves in the South. Won't get over. People don't want to see it, especially the black crowd. And they think it's kind of like a wrong thing to be producing professional wrestling. But we did it anyway, and we got over. Everybody. That's when I became the heel, the top heel I want to be. And it just shot Dog on farther up the top, babyface line. And it clicked. We were selling out everywhere. It was very good. So that's a hell of a historical thing. You know, they bought it. The people bought it, and the people loved it. You know, like I told you, I painted him yellow on nationwide TV with a white man. Buddy Landell. Man, it was on and popping. We was rocking and rolling wherever we went, you know. So
What was the backstage reaction when JYD jumped to the WWE?
well, they know that the franchise done took off. You know, territory's not gonna prosper as much without the JYD. So, you know, that was part of what I was telling you about a while ago. You know, he was gone. He just needed to move on anyway. So he went up to New York. I followed him eventually. A few people followed him.
Do you have any road stories with Junkyard Dog from Louisiana that you could? I know it was a bit of a crazy time.
Yeah, I know we just stuck to each other like glue. People see us get out of the car together, we travel up and down the road, and we was threatened to be fired or fined. Everything, we got caught together without kayfabing. And that was the best. That's the best.
I guess you made the most money with Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, that's about my favorite right there. You hit that nail on the head. He's like a brother.
Oh, see the Amarillo. That's down O'Hare to Amarillo.
Yep.
He goes, oh, they're going home. He says, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I can't work with the Junkyard Dog anymore.
True story. Yes.
He's horrible. He said, I gotta go home. I'm sorry. I gotta go home. And he left.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Junkyard Dog. I ribbed him that night in the locker room. I said, how was it working with the Junkyard Dog?
He was just terrible.
He was just, I mean, you do one thing to him, he would go down and wouldn't get up.
Okay.
And he would just lay on his back and go.
He was about through by then.
Yeah.
You know, because he had put himself in the corner from substance abuse.
Right. Yes.
So it was just the name and no longer the man.
Gotcha.
You know, am I right?
Yeah. Terry worked really hard to make matches with him, like we all would try to do.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, for the fans, not,
I know,
not
yeah.
ourselves.
I understand, yeah.
Because it's nothing we could do to make ourselves look any worse or bad or better because of the guy you're working with. But Harley Race had the match with him at WrestleMania 3,
Right, yes.
which I thought Harley did a wonderful job with this guy who he ran Terry Funk out of the Federation.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I gotta go home. I can't take the dog anymore. So then I had the Junkyard Dog a few times. He's late, just one punch. He's down his back. I just stood. I tell the referee, count him out. His shoulders are down. Count him. The guy wouldn't get up off the mat, and he would only do the headbutt thing.
Yes.
And then push you back into the corner post, and that was the spot. That was it, and it was over.
So how did he? Was he one of the guys that rode Hogan in there? Was he?
The people gravitated to him for some reason. I do not know why. For him to have drawn so many people down south where he did in that time and the place he was at, then to see him in the New York territory and the people gravitated to somebody who did just they lay on a mat.
Yeah.
You know, his interview segments weren't that good.
No.
He had the chain around his neck.
He did have a catchy theme song.
I guess,
You know, and
right place, right.
Bill Watts, and they wasn't doing Oklahoma at the time. I left before they started doing Oklahoma. It was miserable. I was there with Paul Orndorff and Bob Roop and Junkyard Dog. That was great when you'd go into New Orleans with the dog. Who that said they're gonna beat that dog? And it was just fantastic. And I'd be working on
dog and people to start that chant, he'd get goosebumps. And I'd say, dog, take it easy now, take it easy. Because when he started getting them goosebumps, he'd get up and knock the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But I'd see them goosebumps. Dog, take it easy.
I heard there was serious problems with fan attacks there for wrestlers who were working them.
And I don't. I know there were a couple of 3 towns down there you had to watch yourself. Houma, Louisiana, I know that's down there in the bayous, and them old boys down there, they like to fight, I guess. I remember fighting my way out of the ring a couple times in Houma, but not so much anywhere else.
Were those the days before Junkyard Dog got into his personal issues? Was he pretty good?
Personal issues, I know nothing about Junkyard Dog and personal issues. When I left Louisiana, he was still there, of course, and I didn't see him again until we were in New York together.
And what did you think about working for Bill Watts? A lot of people have varying stories. Some people love him, other people didn't like it.
To sit here and knock somebody and they're not here to defend themselves is probably not the right thing to do. But I wouldn't let Bill Watts watch my poke. I wouldn't let him watch my kids. But what he did is what he did. God bless him for it. I don't care.
When you were a kid, growing up, you said you and your grandma were big wrestling fans. Who was your favorite wrestler?
JYD.
I bet he was.
And we would go to Louisiana. I cried like a baby. Ted DiBiase, and I talked to Ted about this, and it's a funny story. He remembered when I brought it up. I said, I don't know if it was a blade or if it was hard way, but I was in Lafayette, Louisiana on the 3rd row. You remember the bicycle rack thing? Yeah. And dog blood was squirting out like, and they had to stop the match and take him to the hospital.
Right.
But Ted DiBiase got in the ring and he cut this. And anybody else that wants some is going to get the same treatment. And he was going off. And I'm crying. I was like, I hope he died. I just want him to, like, he hurt JYD. And I said, do you remember? He said, oh my God, I do remember that. He said, you were there? I said, yeah, I was 8.
Wow.
He said, damn, I'm old.
There was another guy that drew some money, man.
Oh my God, Ted DiBiase was so good, man.
Yeah.
I look back now at, when I saw him as a kid, and I didn't appreciate how good he was. I just was mad at him because the same thing with Kevin. The first time I met Kevin, like I would hold on to my heart like this because I ain't want him to take my heart away. Like he scared the shit out of me as a little boy. I told him, I said, man, I couldn't even, like whenever you came on, I would leave the room. Like that's how scary it was for me as a kid.
The devil.
And a lot of people don't realize that wasn't real fans, that, they modern wrestling fans. Like the business was different back then.
Is it true you were trained by the Junkyard Dog?
That is correct. That is the truth. Yeah.
Did he approach you specifically about training, or did he have a wrestling school or something that you joined?
Man, the story with that is actually I was playing ball at the University of Arkansas in Monticello, and I met JYD over at a Walmart doing an autograph session there. And I was still in my senior year, and I approached him and I had a conversation with him, and of course he saw my size and whatnot, and he approached me and asked me would I be interested in training with him. So of course at the time though, I told him I couldn't because I was playing football. But I guess it was 6 to 8 months later when I went back home for the semester break, I ran into him again, ironically at another Walmart doing a signing. And there is where we hooked up. And, I started training with him. I think it might have been a month later.
How was the training for wrestling compared to the training for football?
Man, of course they're both brutal sports, but I thought I was in shape when I played football. It was a whole different monster, wrestling and training. Of course, they're both brutal on the body, but football you can kind of sort of protect yourself more than you can in the wrestling ring. You can prepare yourself for an opponent that's coming to you in a football game, and you can defend yourself accordingly. But in the ring, it doesn't matter if you take the bumps properly or whatever it is, protect yourself. However, you're still gonna, in so many words, you still lose when you face the mat.
What was the Junkyard Dog like as a person at that time in his life?
Oh, I couldn't see JYD having any enemies, man. He was like the greatest guy, the sweetest person, greatest demeanor. I mean, he was a sweet person.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.